Ever take a test and forget something you know that you know? Have you ever been overwhelmed by the thought of undertaking a task that appears to be effortless? Have you ever felt spaced out? Have you ever felt like unable to think of anything to say or your mind going completely blank? Have you ever had a task that has been pressing on your mind day in and day out, but you just can't seem to get it done? This is what anxiety does. It causes us to forget things. Anxiety causes us to forget who we are, what we have achieved in the past, and that we cannot foresee the future. So, the next time anxiety strikes, remind yourself of these 10 comforting truths. This is a quote by Kimberly Diaz-Rosso. When you observe your thoughts, you're able to choose which to believe and which to let pass. You can choose not to believe that someone else meant to hurt you, that you did something wrong, or you deserve to be judged. You can see these thoughts as nothing more than knee-jerk reactions to a perceived offense, and not reflections of reality or ideas you need to let influence your state of mind. The next quote is by Jodi Picoult. Anxiety is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you very far. The point at which worry becomes unhealthy is when it stops pushing us to act. This can either be because we are worried about things that are not under our control or that have not happened yet, or because we are immobilized by the stress and anxiety we feel, rather than being inspired to act. Whatever the reason, this type of worry is not helpful to us in any way. The next quote is by Eileen S. Cohen. Without a doubt, the most important thing to remember is that it's okay to feel overwhelmed and stressed out. It's okay to feel lost and unsure. It's all right to have no idea how you're going to hold it together sometimes. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be happy all the time. It's okay to acknowledge when times are tough. It's all right to feel anxious, even if it's uncomfortable. The next quote is by Dan Millman. You don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. We just need to be careful about our thoughts. Are our thoughts constantly controlling us? Are we observing our thoughts? Or we are just simply following our thought chain and going from one thought to another and building on that? The next quote is by Carly Hamilton Jones. When you feel like running or fleeing, it's time to face your fear with courage. Although our automatic response is often to run away, numb our feelings, or somehow distract ourselves, escaping only temporarily relieves anxiety. Fear will return, possibly in a different form, until you choose to confront it with kindness. The next quote is by Corrie ten Boom. Worrying is carrying tomorrow's load with today's strength, carrying 2 days at once. It is moving into tomorrow ahead of time. Worrying doesn't empty tomorrow of its sorrow, it empties today of its strength. The next quote is by Jason Large. No matter how close to home anxiety hits, there is always a lie hiding in it somewhere. Maybe it's based on a false belief. Maybe the problem doesn't have to be dealt with as immediately as it feels. Maybe there are options we haven't considered. But anxiety always contains a lie. It might be big and in our face, or it could be small, tricky, and subtle. Look hard enough and we will uncover it. Finding the lie takes the teeth out of the anxiety. The next quote is by Kelly Marty. Instead of stuffing down your depression, anxiety, shame, loneliness, or whatever emotion you're tempted to resist, ask yourself, what message is it trying to send to me? What would I do differently in my life if I listened to this emotion instead of suppressing it? The next quote is by Paula Jones. When we draw conclusions about a situation without checking the facts first, we can escalate it into a full-blown crisis in our minds. In other words, our negative thinking can spiral out of control, rapidly increasing our anxiety unnecessarily. That's called globalizing. How we think about our circumstances can make all the difference in the level of stress we feel. The next quote is by Epictetus. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. The Stoics believe that many of the things in life that people find troubling are not troubling. Hardship doesn't happen because of the events around us, but our perception of events. The last one is by Haley West. Eventually, it passes. It always does. We are left feeling drained or numb or depressed or ashamed. I tend to get angry. We recover though, and that's exactly why people who have panic attacks are warriors. We fight battles every day. We know the nature of the beast. We don't always know when he'll strike, but we know that we will survive whatever he throws at us. We face death in our own way, and it hasn't beaten us yet. We survived the last panic attack, and we'll survive the next one. We have no choice. By next time, when anxiety hits you, Remember to read any of these quotes that you resonate with and calm yourself down. All feelings are okay, and it is okay to feel and welcome all feelings.